The Warriors of Yore. This is a story about when great Shogun Shi En was a young man, became known as the warlord who virtually dominated the land. In the time of the warring states, there were those who ran across the battlefield like shooting stars. They claimed victory after victory, and their country expanded its territory at a breakneck pace. The shogun ruled the country and led its armies with great skill. Especially outstanding were the 6 warriors under his command. People called them the 6 Samurai. Rumors of these mighty warriors and the shogun they served spread among the neighboring countries. He stood in battle alongside the 6 samurai and never faced defeat, yet he carried a small seed of worry. One day he fell ill to a disease that infested his body. Still, the shogun hid it from all but a few close associates and ruled the country vigorously and without rest. He continued to fight fiercely, as if shaking off the disease. I don't know when the Lord is resting. No one has ever seen the shogun sleeping. As these jokes were uttered by the soldiers and the people, one day the last straw broke on the camel's back. Just when he was preparing for a big battle, the shogun fell ill and died an unexpected death. I cannot let the other countries know of my father's death now. One of the 6 samurai and son of the shogun was Shi En. Shi En kept his father's death under wraps and led the army into battle in his place. The target was a mountainous country located to the east of the castle of Mis. It was a castle that served as the enemy base. Terrain analysis, troop size, and strategy, all of the above were calculated, and victory seemed assured. However, the enemy had seen right through Shi En and his advances. Enemy troops in the trees on the mountainside all attacked Shi En and the 6 samurai. The 6 samurai struggled to hold their own, but they faced an unexpectedly desperate battle. As the enemy soldiers attacked with increasing vigor, Shi En finally ordered his troops to retreat. However, in that moment, there was a great disturbance in the line of command. After all, these were soldiers who had never lost a battle. The majority of them had no experience in retreating. Moreover, the confusion caused by the surprise attack and receiving orders from a different commander made matters worse. Morale was lowered as one by one these soldiers were taken out. If this continues, they could be routed. That was when one of the 6 samurai, Shi En, who was alongside Shi En, suddenly turned around. He then offered these words to Shi En. Our unit will serve as the rear guard. The main unit must survive and return to the country at any cost. He was the strongest man among the 6 samurai, reserved but also the warrior Shi En's late father trusted the most. Shi En saw the determination in Shi En's eyes, and once again he ordered the entire army to retreat. As Shi En watched Shi En, he seemed to smile silently with approval. That was how the 6 samurai and Shi En barely escaped to their country. But even as Shi En's wounds from the war began to heal, not a single man from Shi En's unit ever returned. He had lost his father, who was the shogun and a soldier of the 6 samurai. For Shi En and the remaining 6 samurai, this battle was a bitter defeat that they would never forget. The loss of Shi En's father, who was the shogun, soon became known both nationally and internationally and distressed the citizens of the nation. For the other countries competing to claim supremacy, this was an opportunity they could not have wished for. A warlord from another country might invade at any time. How do they settle this mess? How should they fight in the future? Shi En was deep in thought. And then, his father's confidant, and the one appointed as his guardian, Shi En's advisor, told him without hesitation. Now is the time for you to stand as the next shogun. You must prove to the world that you will be the one to rule over all the land. And let us not only win in battles, let us raise a country that matches the heavenly world. To achieve this, it is essential to build a solid foundation. When you achieve this, you can call yourself the true master of the world. Shi En's determination was renewed by these words. Using defeat as a springboard, he devised an array of strategies. The country's military and its national influence was enhanced, and they proceeded to invade countries to expand their territory. They devised a system to make it harder to be invaded, and quickly the country stabilized itself. Meanwhile, Shi En was also racking up victories in battle. When his smoke signal rose over the battlefield, the soldiers of other countries would tremble in fear. After some time, Shi En of the Six Samurai inherited his father's position and began calling himself Great Shogun Shi En. And alongside him stood the newly appointed Six Samurai. They have sworn their absolute loyalty and fight as the backbone of the army. The samurai that fought together on the battlefield before he became shogun continued to be active in a variety of ways. Kageki was feared as a four-armed demon god with secondary arms that he can manipulate at will. He was long active on the battlefield but retired from the Six Samurai due to his injuries and went on to serve on the home front. Kizan was a glorious swordsman that won many battles and was feared by the enemy due to rumors that he was able to cut through the soul. Upon his victory in the imperial match, he was entrusted with the recruitment and cultivation of new candidates for the next generation of Six Samurai. As Grand Master of the Six Samurai, his skill with the sword showed no signs of wavering, even late into his years. The achievements of the newly forged Six Samurai, trained by said commander, spoke for themselves. Inishi was said to have fearlessly charged into the enemy forces and fought like a rampaging wild boar. When Shi En's advisor retired, Inishi coordinated internal affairs and took over the role of advising Shi En. He was appointed to the position of Chancellor, and even after leaving the battlefield, his fight continues. In warfare, and sometimes as a secret agent, Mizuho took on the task of taking revenge through covert operations. She was bound to Shinai as husband and wife. After his death, she decided to pursue the life of monkhood. But when dealing with those posing a threat to Shi En, she still conducts her assignments the same way she always did. Along the Six Samurai who once strove across the battlefield with Shi En stood the new Six Samurai, along with the next generation of vassals. Supported by these vassals, Great Shogun Shi En continues to fight for supremacy and unification of the country.